welcome to Coffee with Joy. I'm your favorite host, Joy. So today I ditched the heels for my kids. Of course, today we're talking to my guest, Dr. Salako, as we're talking about fitness. But before we get to my guest, check this out. We're talking about how to make yourself use everything that you have within your home. We're going to check out this quick clip as this fitness guru is showing us some things that you already have in the house and how to make yourself accessible to working out. Check this out. So simple, right? But of course, with a little consistency, hey, you can use everything that you have in your house. And I'm so excited. I don't want to get ahead of myself because my guest's going to share some great techniques on how to utilize what we have in our house and how to not to ditch your gym membership, but not making exercise an excuse. But we know exercise is very vital. But come with that, we want to be able to eat right, and sometimes we get stuck in our eating. So check this clip out where some great 7 ideas for your breakfast tip if you're not a big breakfast person. Me another see another girl for my visuals. Loving you, now my ritual. Of course, I see some great things that I would love to get into, just like yourself. So let us know in the comments, what are your thoughts about what are some great healthy tips that you have tried within the first quarter, as now we're in quarter 2. Let us know in the comments. So now we're going to talk to my guest, Dr. Salako, who's in the studio. Hey, Dr. Salako, how are you? He's here. I'm so excited. He's a guru in fitness. He makes everything so accessible and easy. So we're going to let him share all the deets and everything on how we can get in contact with him, how he does virtual works, and so much more. So after these commercials, we're going to talk to my guest, Dr. Salako.
Our mission focuses on showcasing local and global talent of all ages on and off the field. We will strive to inspire, educate, and bridge the divides through our media collaboration. Our goal is to give student athletes and coaches the platform to let their talents be seen and a platform for the community to let their voices be heard. This is the Union Media Group.
Welcome back to Coffee with Joy. I'm your favorite host, Joy. So today we're talking to my guest, Dr. Salako, as we're talking about transforming a new you, almost like a new me. So we have my guest. Hey, Doc, how are you?
How's it going? How are you?
Good. So before we jump right in, can you tell people a little bit of what you do, a little bit about yourself?
Yes, of course. So my name is Dr. Salako. I am a body transformation coach. I help busy women transform their bodies and improve their energy. I've been doing this for almost a decade now. I have my doctorate in physical therapy, and what we've done is a lot of times people need a personal trainer, a nutritionist, a life coach. What we've done in our program has been able to take those 3 specialties and put it into one house so we can take a more holistic approach at getting people to their goals.
Awesome. So, of course, in my early piece, of course, some things that you do at home, you really transform people on how to make sure that they exercise on a consistency without having that excuse, right? As working out. So, what are some ways that are easy for people who haven't started their exercise journey, who said, hey, I'm coming in 24, I'm going to work out. And then it became
Yeah.
January 19, I have yet to work out. It became February 4th. Uh, but I really want
Yeah.
to go to the gym, but it's snowing outside. So these excuses just keep building. So, what are some techniques that you can really put onto someone who's not accessible to a gym, or just keep having excuses? I don't want to leave. I don't want to work out. So, what are some
Yeah.
exercise that can help that excuse of an individual?
Yeah. So when it comes to that, I tell everyone, one, you got to figure out what time of day can I do the workout to make it where there's the least resistance. Because a lot of us, okay, we'll say I'm going to work out in the morning, but you know you're not a morning person. You know you got to get the kids ready in the morning. So we put it in a place where there's going to be a lot of resistance versus putting it at another time where maybe it's during your lunch break or in the evening when everyone's sleeping. So first is figuring out the best time to do it, and then think of simple exercises. Use your body weight. Learn how to squat, simple push ups, do some marches, just something to get your heart rate going. A lot of the videos that I put on our YouTube are ones that help people utilize their body weight. We overthink it, and it doesn't have to look like all the things that you see on social media. Doing some stretching and moving around, like those things make a difference in the beginning.
Oh, okay. And how often do you think someone should be able to stretch? Because every time, and again, I'm guilty of it, right? You're looking at these man made workouts, and everyone swore they're gurus in fitness, right? And they say
Right.
you must stretch, you must do that because it's important for mobility within the body, right? So, what is your take on stretching?
Yeah. So not to get too far in the weeds, it really depends on what your limitations are. If you're someone if you sit, most of us, we sit a lot, especially since we've been working from home. I would do some stretches for the front of the hip daily because that'll help with low back pain and other things like that. But if you're someone who has more of an active job where you're moving pretty often, I would focus more on strength training rather than stretching. Doing a quick stretch towards the end of your workout, there's nothing wrong with it. But I would prioritize more things where mobility, where you're moving more rather than I'm going to reach down and touch my toes and stay in that position.
Okay. Awesome. Now, what can you give us a little bit of what is strength training? What does that look like to the doc? Strength training.
Yes. So
You
strength
hear it thrown
training,
around all the time. Sorry about that.
yes. And no, you're fine. The word strength training, typically people say, whenever someone says they want to tone, they're saying I need to strength train essentially. Strength training is when you're doing exercises with resistance. So it could be, let's say you're doing a squat. Rather than doing a squat with your body weight, you're doing a squat with some dumbbells in your hand or dumbbells to the side. So anytime you're using some sort of resistance, whether it's a dumbbell, kettlebell, a band, you're doing some form of strength training. And that's how you get the toned muscles, the reduced body fat, the look that most of us want. You can't achieve that without strength training.
Mm. Now, everybody wants to have these equipment at home, and they sell them very accessible, very easy. Like, what are some easy ways that one should get, like some items that they will have at home, or what things do they need in order to start the exercise regimen? As we saw
Yeah.
in the clip, use the chair. So, what is like three items in the household that one can use
Yeah.
to help them out? And what are three items that if I want to go out and get like a jump rope or weight, like what do one, and keep in mind, we're talking to beginners, because as much
Yeah.
as some people, they work out, they keep going, they fall flat, right? And it's like you're
Uh,
never going to get to this pinnacle, and it's so hard just to reach it. So it's like you always starting over. So what are those three
yeah.
items? One, work out from home, and three items that one may need to get in order to push themselves within strength training.
Yeah. Okay, so if you're just starting, the three items that I would recommend: a pair of dumbbells. You can keep them
Mm,
light. They have some dumbbells come in the ones where you're only buying one pair, but you can adjust the size. They're adjustable in size. So one pair of dumbbells is going to be great because you can do a plethora of exercises with that.
mm-hmm,
The next thing, get an aerobic step. That way you can do more exercises for your cardiovascular endurance. You can do step ups, you can do step switches, different things similar
mm,
to how I'm doing in the video right there.
mm-hmm.
The last thing that I would get are resistance bands, the ones that you can put into the door. That way you can mimic a lot of the exercises that you do in the gym, the back row, the lat pull, doing flies, different ones that are hard to do at home without that equipment. So those are the three that I would recommend if you're a beginner.
Awesome.
Now, if you're someone who's more advanced and you're further along in the process, for you, I would get a pair of heavier weights, maybe investing into bench for your home. So now you can do a little more of the advanced exercises, and then a stability ball because now we can do more things for our core. And those are the basics that I think are really good for the home.
Phenomenal. Because I know, with exercise, of course, that should always be within the top three, right? Especially dealing with your body, it should be in the top three. But when you're hearing so many people pulling here, and you just watch something and somebody saying, no, you should do this. It's kind of what,
Yeah.
you're in the middle being this tug of war. So I just want to hear from, of course, a specialist, a guru like yourself. What are the top threes that we must move towards to, so that one who wants to get into this exercise regimen, because again, you got to fight the consistency, right? No matter if you're a morning, mid, night person, you just have to find that regimen. Now, what has been like your ups and downs as you becoming a trainer? Because I know it hasn't been like, oh, cherries and flowers, like, oh yeah, sure, I'm gonna join. And where is she?
Mhm.
Or where is he? So what has been your
Yeah.
ups and downs in your entrepreneurship as a trainer?
Yes. So when I first started, I was training in person, and at that time, you'll have people cancel sessions, and that was always a burden because you're already at the
Mhm.
gym, and then you'll get a message that they're not showing up. Now that I'm more in the virtual space, it's different because people still cancel, but in the way they do it now, they just don't reply. So then when you're checking in with clients or you're trying to give them feedback on how things are going, either response
Mhm.
time is slow, or if someone gets down in the dumps where they've hit a week, work has picked up, they haven't worked out. Sometimes there's a little guilt there, and they don't want the
Yeah.
accountability. So those are some of the troubles now. Trying to keep people engaged when sometimes life picks up, and it's not going to look the same every week, but you still got to try to do something every week.
Wow. Now, what are your thoughts on waist trainers? Of course, every minute we working out, everybody want this size waist, but this wide hips, and of course the
Yeah.
BBL. What are your take
Uh-huh.
on waist trainers?
So it's funny because when I first started, I was adamant. I was like, I hate waist trainers. If you come to the gym with waist trainers, you got to do burpees, all of this stuff. But now it's more so one of those things where I like to educate first, knowing if you're going to use
Yeah.
a waist trainer, just know it's reducing, all it is doing is reducing water weight. So it's going to make you sweat a
Mm,
bunch. You're going to reduce some water weight. But if you go drink water, you rehydrate, all of that is coming back. However, if putting on the waist trainer makes you feel more excited to exercise, makes you feel more comfortable or more secure while you're doing your workout, by all means,
mhm.
wear it. Don't go in thinking, I'm wearing this waist trainer because it's going to help me do X, Y, and Z, because you'll
Right.
be leading yourself to disappointment.
Wow. Because of course, again, it's the conflict. You hear it's like the negative and the pro. You always hear people saying, no, you shouldn't wear it, or you should wear it,
Yeah.
or it's constant. Like some people just wear it on a daily basis and not even using it to work out. So it's always good to hear. I don't like them. I don't wear it when I work out. I have some,
Uh-huh.
but it's like I feel constricted. I feel like, okay, it's going to go. Don't worry about it. But
Yeah.
that's my take.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I agree.
now, yeah, that's just not my take on that. So now exercising, that should be something. What is the length of someone who should be working out? Like for myself, I find myself working out like an hour and 10 minutes. And granted, I love it. So I'm not disagreeing with that, right? But what should be like if it had to be a standard time, what is that standard
Yeah.
time for one to work out in order to see change?
Yeah. So it truly depends, one, how much time do you actually have? Because that's
Mhm.
going to look different for everyone. And the thing I want people to really focus on is more quality versus quantity,
Okay.
because you can have an hour to work out, but 30 minutes of that you're on the treadmill, 30 minutes of that you're doing like two machines. So although you were working out for that long of a time, was it truly a
Yeah.
quality workout?
Mm.
So recommendations from the CDC, they want people to have at minimum 30 minutes of moderate exercise, 30 minutes of moderate to intense exercise throughout the week. I do
Okay.
recommend trying to get at least 30 minutes of exercise, even if it's 2 to 3 times a week. Minimum 30 minutes is great. One of those
Mhm.
days, let's use exercises with weights. On those 2 other days, we can do more cardio based, but really making sure that we're doing exercises with weights. And I think once we're getting that minimum threshold, you're truly putting
Okay.
yourself in position to reach the weight loss goal.
Wow. Cause and you said weights, so it's good to have just do like take a day to do weights, or you and or to have like the weights that they have, the weights that they have on their wrist and their arm to, to build that endurance. So you're saying separate weight as far as a day with weights, or adding the weights to you.
So yeah, that's where it goes into how much time do you have. If I'm someone that only has 30
Gotcha.
minutes, I would rather my 30 minutes I'm doing all my exercises with weights versus if I had
Mhm.
like yourself, you have an hour and a half or an hour 15, my first 15, 20 minutes, I can do that. I can do cardio on the treadmill and then I'll spend the rest of my time doing weights. So it truly depends on how much time you have to be able to
Yeah.
work out or on how you prioritize what.
Wow. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Doc. So after these messages, we're going to continue to talk to my doc. He has a message for us women. Okay. I need it and you need it. So please make sure that you continue to like, subscribe, Coffee with Joy. So after these messages, we're going to talk to my guest. We're going to see the message that he has for us, and we're going to continue to talk to my guest, Dr. Solanko. Latest news, today's news, current news, gossip news, you name it. I am your host with Coffee with Joy as I share any up-to-date news that's taking place around the world. But if you would like to check it out, please make sure you go to my YouTube channel, Coffee with Joy, where I share the latest topic. I am your host with Coffee with Joy with today's topic. Welcome back to Coffee with Joy. So we're going to listen to the message that Doc has for us, and it surely will help you and I.
Ladies, if you find yourself in that cycle of losing and gaining weight and you don't know what to do, listen to this message. Whatever you do to lose the weight, be sure you can do the same thing to keep the weight off. A lot of times we'll do these fad diets, whether it's keto, juicing, raw foods, whatever, where we'll lose the weight, but we can't keep it off because you're not going to eat that way for the rest of your life. If you can't sustain that diet, you are setting yourself up for disappointment because the weight will come back once you go back to your normal way of eating. Here's what I want you to do instead. I'm about to teach you a simple way to figure out how much to eat for your goals on a well-balanced diet where you don't have to cut out your favorite foods. Take your body weight and multiply it by 15. This will give you the number of calories you need to maintain your weight. Whatever that number is, decrease it by 500, and this is how you lose 1 pound a week. If you decrease it by 1,000, it's a lot more extreme, but this is how you lose 2 pounds a week. In the comments, let me know what your calorie numbers are so I know you did your homework. Peace.
Where people, we have the math. Hey, you better pull out the calculator if you didn't understand.
I
You
know.
did the math. You did the math. Because you're always in the goal of losing a pound or two within the week. So good regimen. So what made you come to wanting to send this message out to women?
Yeah, I think I got off a call. I have whenever someone is coming to our program, we have what I call enrollment calls and clarity calls. And one of the common themes that I hear often is women are discouraged because they've tried the weight loss process and they've done something, whether it's a fad diet, juicing, and they'll lose the weight, but then
Right.
they'll gain it back once they go back to their regular diet. And they'll
Mhm.
be discouraged, feel like, I can't do this. This is my life. When in reality, your foundation was just wrong. We went about it
Yeah.
wrong the first time. So in this time around, we just need to change our foundation. So it was after one of those type of calls, and then I was like, okay, there must be a lot of people dealing with the same thing. So let me help you start to build that foundation.
Such a vicious cycle. Because as you were talking about juicing, I know my sister's going to kill me, but I swear, her whole her whole fridge is juicing, and it's like, yo, sis, do you eat anything? Do you have anything? And granted, my sister gets up at well, no, she's on the walk. She's walking every
Yeah,
morning at 4:30, and she juices. So, and I asked, do you eat? Well. I don't have any questions for her, nor am I a professional in that arena. But I know this
yeah,
cannot be good. I swear she just get a kick out of juicing, and
yeah.
and granted, I haven't really seen much. So if you see
Hmm.
the sis, sorry. But I really haven't seen much, but she constantly just juice and juice and juice. So what is your take on juicing when people think that should be the end all and be all?
Yeah. I think whenever someone is implementing juicing or any type of fad diet, they're at point A and they're immediately thinking about point Z. We often
Mm,
skip the middle part, and that's where fad diets come in, where it's trying to get us to the end goal quicker. And
yeah,
with juicing in particular, yes, you're getting some of the nutrients, but you're also stripping away a lot of the fiber that comes with the fruits when you eat them in their natural state. And then if
mhm,
you're only consuming juice, if you're only juicing, not consuming anything else, what are we doing for our other vitamins? What are we doing for our protein
right,
levels? Because especially if you're exercising, you need protein. You need other forms of carbohydrates for energy. So we're skipping the essential nutrients that will help us be healthy in the long run. Because I think we focus so much on the number and the goal, but the ultimate
yeah,
goal truly is to be healthy.
yeah, yeah. And continue to make it a lifestyle, not to get
Mhm.
rid of. And you stated in your piece, how to maintain the food you still want to eat, but to have that healthy lifestyle. Now, how can
Yeah.
someone, we know in moderation, right? We know that. But sometimes, like myself, and of course, I feel like I'm in a
Yeah.
therapy session. I am. I gotta tell on myself, right? I am
Uh-huh.
a fan of banana pudding, but I know that is the devil, but
Uh-huh.
it's okay. I don't eat it all the time, but I do have it in moderation, but still, it's not good. It's not good. So, how can one sneak those treats in or things that, hey, sad to say, comfort food, right? That
Yeah.
makes us feel good, but in the end, it's going to make us look like crap. But still, at this present time,
Yeah. Mm.
I just
I'm a,
want to feel good.
yeah. I'll let you in on a secret because this is a safe space. Every Sunday, I have carrot cake. Consistently, every single Sunday after church, I go to the bakery near the church and I get carrot. Their carrot cake is amazing, and I have it every Sunday. And
Yeah.
truly, what it boils down to, especially if you have a weight loss goal, knowing your overall calories. So it goes back to that post where if you know your numbers and you know what number you need to hit to reach the goal, now it's a matter of, and no one wants to do this. I get it. It's a pain, but you have to earn the right to not count your calories. So if you're counting your calories in the beginning, now you can start to see, okay, if I eat these things and piece it together, this is how it shows up for my results. That way, most of us, we're creature of habit. We eat the same thing most of the time. So now the
Right,
next
right.
time you eat it, you don't have to count your calories because you already know because you've seen it from last week. So now you can make better choices of, okay, I know we're going out later. I love the cake that is at this restaurant. So for lunch, I'm gonna have a salad so that I can do what I want to do at dinner. That's your moderation right there. But we don't take the time to really sit and really plan it out and look at, okay, what does my body need? What do the numbers mean? So that I can go live my life. Because I'm Nigerian. I eat. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
But there's a
Right,
balance
right.
at the end.
Now, what do you consider like a healthy breakfast and healthy lunch and healthy dinner? If someone wants to
Yeah.
go, and of course, eating fresh is always great, but we know in the hustle and
Mhm.
bustle, life is just lifing. And sometimes
Yeah.
we could whip the car into a drive-through, but we
Yeah.
have to pull back. So, what is a healthy lunch, healthy breakfast, and
Mhm.
dinner? That, or just,
Yeah.
or you could sum it up. If someone's trying to get their meal together.
Yeah. So I'll approach this from someone who's a super busy professional. For breakfast, I typically recommend a high protein smoothie. It's easy,
Mm,
takes you max 5 to 10 minutes to make. And sometimes you can pre-make your things where you're putting them in baggies. So all you got to do is dump the Ziploc bag into the blender. So a simple high
mm,
protein breakfast is good.
yeah.
You have your smoothie, have your fruits, berries. I recommend berries versus your other fruits in the morning just because they're lower in
Mm,
sugar or on the glycemic index. So it leads to less of a insulin spike. Starting
mm,
there, now we have our high protein smoothie. When it comes to lunch, if you're someone that's busy, I was having a conversation with one of my clients last
mhm,
week. Frozen vegetables are perfectly fine. In most cases, frozen is sometimes fresh than our fresh produce because they
mm,
come from the flash frozen and then placed in the freezer.
mm,
Versus your fresh produce, they go from the farm to the truck. You don't know how long it's been sitting on the shelf. So there's nothing
yeah.
wrong, especially in this economy. There's nothing
Right.
wrong with frozen vegetables. And they have some, I believe it's Steam Fresh. You can get one where it's a mix. There's brown rice, quinoa, and
Mhm.
something else. Have that.
Oh,
Get you
okay.
a rotisserie chicken. That's a meal right
Hmm.
there. And
Wow.
that's a solid lunch right there. For dinner,
Yeah.
pick a package that you want to get out of there, and it's still the same. The only thing I would be mindful of is looking at your sodium levels and the things that you're
Mhm.
getting, especially getting things that aren't as quote unquote fresh. Look at the sodium
Mhm.
content, add your seasonings, pay attention to the sodium content. Otherwise, that's your healthy 3 meals right there.
Wow. Out of the three, what should be the heaviest meal?
I say lunch because you're more active during lunch. You still have the whole day to walk, to burn some of those calories, etc. Versus dinner, typically we eat. I know me, my wife and I, we sit down and we watch a movie while we're eating dinner, so there is no movement. So most of us,
Right.
if you're anything like us, dinner we're typically sitting. So I say lunch. That way you have some time to move around, and it's not as heavy when you're going to bed. It gives your body more time, your metabolism more time to digest the food.
Mm. Now, I've heard oatmeal sometimes could be tricky. Do you
Mhm.
recommend oatmeal for breakfast? And I ask that because, like, again, it's just going back, and I see people always have it for, of course, when they make up their breakfast online. You see the
Yeah.
oats, but I've heard oatmeal is not a good breakfast for one to
Yeah.
have. What is your take on that?
Yes. So it truly depends. For our program, what we do, we get everyone's body type, and then we figure out what is your. It goes back to your calories and knowing your numbers. Let's say you're on a
Hmm.
low carb diet for you to lose weight. I wouldn't recommend oatmeal in the morning because that's going to make it tight for the rest of the day when it comes to hitting your
Mm,
carbohydrate
okay.
versus you're on a well balanced diet. Carbohydrates are going to be great in the morning, especially if you're about to go work out. So let's say you have a strength training workout for that morning scheduled, or a
Uh-huh.
workout where it's hit based and it's a lot of movement, or you're doing a lot of cardio. That's when I would eat my oatmeal because oatmeal is going to give you slow, sustained energy over the course of
Mm.
time. So that'd be great for your workout.
Oh, wow. Okay. So I learned something today. So that brought clarification for myself. So if somebody's here, they come back and they say, hey, I would like to, join his class. How can they go about getting in contact with you? Or just, hey, just sit on the sideline and watch? Or how can they get in contact with you?
Yes. So there's two ways. One, you can always email us at info@thewellnesslab.net. Or the second option, I'm on all social platforms. And if you ever send us a message, we respond. There's trigger words and certain words that you can send on the different platforms like wellness or transformation. And that triggers us, letting us know that you're interested in working with us. But if you send us a message or send us an email or head to our website, thewellnesslab.net, we'll be able to get you where you need.
Perfect. Now, what is like one quote or thank you to you? What is like one quote or something that you and that keeps you going in order to
Yeah.
keep people going? Because this is not an easy job. You're in different arenas. It's like an EKG. You're up and down trying to make sure everyone reach their goals. So, what
Yeah.
do Dr. Solanko to keep himself together? Because you have a whole family, and at the same time
Uh-huh.
running your business. So, what is something that keeps you, whether your prayer, your scripture, or quote, something that drives you
Yeah.
to for you to continue to keep going?
It's For me, it goes down to when I started this, I said I want to build something that's bigger than me. And
Hmm.
then I prayed about it and I was like, God, I want you to use me. I want you to enlarge my kingdom. And
Hmm.
for me, I know this is bigger than me. At the end of the day, I say it all the time. Yes, I want you to reach your weight loss goal, but I truly want you to be healthy because a healthier
Right.
version of you can show up in purpose. You can't.
Yeah.
I saw a tweet the other day. It was like, we can't
Mhm.
walk by faith because we're tired. We can't chase after God because we're out of breath. And it's like,
Yeah.
can we actually, those are the things that keep me going where I
Mhm.
want to do my part in helping. And yes, I get tired, but at the end of the day, it's bigger than me.
Right.
And
Wow.
those are
Thank you so much. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Doc. I'm sorry, Doc.
Oh no, and I was gonna say those are the things that keep me going, knowing that it's bigger than me, and I just love helping. It's fulfilling what I
Yeah.
do, and I just hearing the process from when someone walks in defeated. This is their last. Most of the people that come to us, we're their last resort, and by the time they're done, it's life changing, and it truly heartwarming.
Ooh, yes, that's good to know always. Because again, who does not want to be healthy? Who wants to? Who doesn't want to? Clearly, that's the fact. Who doesn't want to? I know for a fact. Everybody wants to because again, who wants to be connected to any machines? And of course, in order to start believing in you and making you a healthy you, it starts today. So please, if you're here and you're listening, please make sure you reach out to Dr. Salako for it's a great program. If you're like me, trying to start your regimen and continue to keep going, take heed. So, as you all know, thank you all so much for joining with Coffee with Joy. Please make sure that you like, subscribe, and follow Coffee with Joy. We have our Q codes here. If you would like to patronize our company, as well as, and if you would like to be on Coffee with Joy, please make sure that you reach out to the Coffee with Joy show at gmail.com. And as you all know, keep in mind that we have our voting. The voting ends on Friday, 11:59 for our show is up for an award. We are the semifinalists. So we're looking for your vote. So if you know anyone, if you like to vote, all it is, just please make sure you follow the bio at the bottom and select Coffee with Joy. And we'll be in the top four, and then we'll be able to be winning. So as always, we want to thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm your host with Coffee with Joy. As always, live life on purpose. If it's a weekday, or weekend, you all live life, be blessed. Have a good night. We